Los Angeles, an early evening in 2025. The sunset stretched across the sky, dyeing the city in a brilliant orange hue. Glass skyscrapers reflected the shimmering light like giant jewels, while the streets pulsed with endless traffic, their headlights flickering like fireflies against the deepening twilight. Elon Musk, 53, quietly drove his glossy black Tesla Model S Plaid down Sunset Boulevard, the electric motor humming so softly that only the whisper of wind through the windows filled the silence. His hand glided lightly over the steering wheel, his sharp gaze holding a hidden weariness. The past year had been a whirlwind of work. SpaceX, Tesla, Neuralink. Hundreds of ambitious projects interlocking like an endless puzzle. Bringing humanity to Mars wasn't just a dream. It was his mission, and he had dedicated his life to it. Suddenly, his phone rang, snapping him from his thoughts. The car's speakers blared the urgent voice of his assistant. Elon, a call from Ava Sterling, Hollywood's acclaimed director. She wants to offer you a cameo in the sci-fi film Galactic Pioneers. Elon frowned slightly, his grip tightening on the wheel. She says you're the perfect choice to play a visionary tech genius inspiring Martian colonists. He chuckled softly. Asterisk Hollywood. A blockbuster. Asterisk it wasn't the first time he'd been asked to appear on screen, but until now, he'd only ever played himself in interviews and tech keynotes. Acting. That was an entirely foreign world. Elon pulled over, his eyes tracing the glowing movie billboards towering above. Neon lights flashed the names of Hollywood's biggest franchises. Galactic Pioneers. Destiny Among the Stars, Galactic Wars, Robot Era. He thought of SpaceX, of standing on TED Talk stages, of dreams stretching beyond Earth. A role in a sci-fi film. It wasn't entirely crazy, and if anyone understood life on Mars, it was him. A faint smile crossed his lips. Tell Ava I'm in. This should be an interesting challenge. Weeks later, Elon stepped onto a sprawling film set on the outskirts of Los Angeles. The scene before him resembled a Martian research station ripped from the pages of a sci-fi novel. Red dunes sprawled under the glare of massive film lights, mimicking the crimson sky of the red planet. Sleek metallic domes loomed over the simulated landscape, while autonomous robots and hulking 3D printers busily constructed a space colony. Nearby, actors in silver spacesuits rehearsed, their postures radiating the grit of true pioneers. The whir of cameras, the director's shouts, and crew members darting to adjust every detail merged into a rhythm of controlled chaos, a tempo Elon had never experienced. Through the commotion, a tall woman with a platinum pixie cut and piercing blue eyes strode toward him. She exuded the authority of a commander of a cinematic universe. Elon, thrilled you're here. Your role is pivotal. I know you'll crush it. Elon shook her hand, his smile polite but his gaze still holding a flicker of hesitation. This isn't my stage. But if he could venture into the cosmos, why not another universe, the world of film? A voice chimed in beside him. So this is the tech genius. Welcome to the madness of acting. Jasper Lane, the film's lead actor, stood there. Messy blonde hair, a mischievous smile, and a reputation for eccentric roles. He extended his hand, eyes glinting with curiosity and challenge. Elon shook it, replying calmly, "Thank you. I'm looking forward to it." But inwardly, a thought surfaced. I've truly stepped into an entirely unfamiliar world. Elon stood in the middle of a vast Martian simulation set, surrounded by background actors dressed as interplanetary settlers. The deep red stage lights cast an eerie crimson hue over everything, mimicking the dusty sky of the red planet. His role was simple: deliver a rousing speech to rally the colonists. His opening line was clear. We must colonize Mars to ensure humanity's survival. Together, we can build a new home among the stars. But when the cameras rolled, Elon's voice became slow, monotonous, and detached, as if he were delivering a quarterly earnings report at a Tesla shareholder meeting. We must invade Mars. His gestures were stiff, his eyes locked on the camera instead of the crowd. The energy flatlined. Cut! Ava Sterling's voice sliced through the set, startling everyone. She marched toward him, her sharp blue eyes a mix of frustration and determination. Elon, you sound like a broken autopilot. You need passion. Imagine you're convincing an entire planet to believe in your dream. Elon nodded, his cheeks flushing slightly with embarrassment. He tried again, this time attempting to modulate his tone. There was progress, but it still felt awkward, like a clumsy robot mimicking human emotion. Nearby, Jasper Lane, dressed in a shimmering navy blue Space Commander uniform, rolled his eyes and leaned toward an extra. This guy's a machine, not an actor. A few snickers rippled through the crew. Elon felt the weight of the pressure mounting. Failure wasn't familiar territory. Rockets, electric cars, AI. Every challenge he'd faced had been solved through logic, control, and optimization. But acting, he realized, was an entirely different realm. Here, emotion and vulnerability were the currency. Determined not to fail, he hired an acting coach that same night. After days of failure, Elon was determined to push his limits by trying method acting, a technique his coach had suggested, fully immersing himself in the role. If I were an astronaut on Mars, he thought, I would need to feel that experience. So he made a bold request to the props department to spend the night inside the spacecraft set, a sleek metallic pod with automatic sliding doors and blinking blue LED lights. I want to understand what my character feels, he told Ava. His voice filled with determination. Ava smiled, thinking this was a sign of progress. Good, Elon. Give it a shot. ###the longest night on Mars. That night, Elon climbed into the pod, dressed in a mock spacesuit, imagining himself on Mars, preparing for a critical mission. He closed his eyes, trying to picture the red Martian horizon and the stars burning bright in the alien sky. But as he shifted around, he accidentally pressed a button near the door. With a sharp whoosh, the sliding door locked shut. His eyes snapped open. He was trapped. His phone, his only lifeline, was outside the pod, sitting on a props table just a few meters away. It's fine, he told himself, trying to stay calm. This is just another challenge, right? I've dealt with worse. He knocked on the metal door. Hello? Anyone there? I'm stuck. Silence. The set was completely deserted. The only sound was the wind whistling through the gaps in the fake Martian landscape. #### 6 hours of isolation. Time dragged on. An hour passed. Then 2. Then 4. ***. Elon tried to pry open the door using a prop wrench he found inside the pod, but all he managed to do was scratch the metallic paint. By 3 a.m., desperate and disheveled, he slumped against the wall. Then finally, ****, a noise outside. ****. A night security guard had heard some faint banging and unlocked the door. The hatch slid open, revealing Elon with messy hair, a crumpled spacesuit, and an exhausted expression. He let out a breath and forced a grin. I think I took method acting a little too far. ###. The morning after. By sunrise, the crew arrived to prepare for the new day of filming. As the story of Elon's night in the pod spread, the set erupted with laughter. Jasper Lane, walking in with a coffee in hand, took one look at Elon and grinned. He looks more like a Martian than I do. For the first time, the tension between Elon and the cast melted away. They started seeing him differently, not as an outsider but as someone genuinely trying. Even Jasper, who had been skeptical of him from the start, walked up with an unexpected offer. All right, Elon, want to rehearse lines with me tonight? I think I could use a little coaching. Elon's embarrassing misadventure in the spaceship pod turned out to be a blessing in disguise. Though awkward, it helped him connect with the film crew in a way he hadn't before. He began attending rehearsals with a newfound openness, listening to advice from Jasper and Ava. He stopped analyzing acting like an engineering problem and instead let himself experience the emotions. One evening, during a break from filming, Elon and Jasper sat on a bench outside the studio, looking up at the hazy Los Angeles night sky, its stars dimmed by the city lights. Jasper glanced at him. You really believe we'll get to Mars, don't you? Elon nodded, his eyes gleaming with certainty. I don't just believe it. I'm making it happen. That's why I'm here. Asterisk asterisk. To inspire people, even if it's just through a screen. Jasper studied him for a moment, then smiled. For the first time he didn't see Elon Musk, the billionaire tech mogul. He saw a man with a relentless passion, someone who truly believed in the impossible. Their conversation stretched late into the night, and when Jasper finally walked away, he patted Elon's shoulder in a way that felt genuine. The last day of filming arrived. Elon stood on the Martian colony set, the red-tinted lights casting long shadows over the simulated dunes. A hush fell over the crowd of extras, their spacesuit costumes rustling softly in the artificial breeze. The cameras rolled. Ava signaled. Action! This time, Elon didn't try to act. He simply spoke from his heart. We must colonize Mars to ensure the survival of humanity. His voice rang out, no longer robotic or rehearsed, but filled with genuine conviction. Together we can build a home among the stars. The set was silent. Then, asterisk asterisk, a wave of hushed awe asterisk asterisk. The same crew that had once stifled laughter at his stiff performances now hung onto every word. Ava, watching from behind the camera, smiled and whispered, "That's exactly what I wanted." Beside her, Jasper nodded approvingly. "You've got heart, Musk." ####, a star is accidentally born. A few months later, Galactic Pioneers hit theaters and became a box office phenomenon. Elon's brief cameo stole the show. Social media exploded, calling him the most unintentionally badass action hero ever. Critics praised his raw, unpolished performance, noting that his lack of theatrical flair made the character feel more real than any seasoned actor ever could. Elon Musk had set out to inspire people with space travel. In an unexpected twist, he had done it through Hollywood. The Hollywood premiere of Galactic Pioneers at the Dolby Theatre was nothing short of spectacular. The red carpet stretched endlessly, camera flashes illuminated the night like a meteor shower, and fans cheered wildly as the stars made their grand entrances. Elon stepped out of his Tesla, looking slightly out of place in a tuxedo that was clearly a last-minute decision. But the beaming grin on his face was unmistakable. He was genuinely enjoying the moment. As he walked the carpet, he spotted Ava and Jasper waiting for him. They exchanged laughs, took photos together, and, just for fun, recreated Elon's now famous Martian speech pose from the movie. A journalist from Variety approached, microphone in hand. "Elon, what do you think of your first-ever acting role?" Elon laughed, shaking his head. "Acting is definitely not my specialty. I think I'll stick to rocket science." Then, after a pause, his eyes sparkled mischievously. "But hey, maybe I'd come back if they let me design the spaceship for the sequel." Jasper snorted. "Don't tempt him," he muttered to Ava, who chuckled. ####, a different kind of achievement. As the film played inside the packed theater, an unexpected roar of applause erupted when Elon's scene appeared on screen. Seated between Ava and Jasper, he felt something strange yet deeply fulfilling. Not the pride of launching a rocket, not the excitement of revolutionizing transportation, but the joy of stepping out of his comfort zone and succeeding in a whole new way. This experience had taught him something invaluable. Sometimes the biggest challenges aren't about technology or engineering. Sometimes they're about embracing the unknown, laughing at failure, and finding unexpected allies along the way. ####, a curtain call. Or a sequel. As the credits rolled, Elon glanced at Jasper and Ava, the people who had once doubted him. But now they were friends. Ava nudged him. "So, Mr. Musk, what's next?" "Broadway." Elon smirked. "Let's not get ahead of ourselves. One planet at a time." They all laughed, as somewhere in the audience, an executive whispered, "You know, maybe there should be a sequel." And just like that, the most unlikely Hollywood star had left the door open for an encore no one saw coming.